How's everybody doing today? So today we're going to do just a little different. We're kind of just going to have a conversation because I'm not going to go to the Emmy footage or anything like that because they will strike this video down. But also, I'm just wondering where everybody is at on stuff like this because I think like people get misconstrued a little bit about a few things, right? The problem is not this woman's hustle. Like the problem is not Lizzo's hustle to me. I was just having a really interesting conversation with Crystal about this too. I agree with what she was like. We don't care about this woman's hustle. Frankly, this woman should make as much money as she can. Everybody should work hard to make as much money as she can. My only problems with Lizzo are the fact that she openly promotes overeating and tries to pretend like there's nothing wrong with it. Like I just openly see that. I do think that it should be very much seen as Hollywood and the networks going to the thing that sells right now. Crystal and I say this all the time, and I have said this for a while. If people don't think, like, if all of a sudden it becomes very popular to be super incredibly fit and super incredibly uh, in shape, and fat people go out of style, basically, as things like this do very much fucking happen. Don't think for a second that it won't swing the other way. And that's the issue. Like her making money from this is great, but this actually does not really help people. It is a disgusting, frankly, like culture, Hollywood culture, kind of just taking advantage of what is hot right now to, in fact, keep people entertained and make money. I don't really like the show winning an Emmy for best competition show. I can list off like 10 in my head that I think are better. I think that it won the award literally because it was about fat women dancing. I mean, and that's where Hollywood's at. The best competition show, hands down on TV right now, is Alone, period. I will argue about it. Like, I think it's amazing. It is raw and human and everything like that. But there's also like the challenge shows for like on MTV and everything like that. I think that there's many, many, many truly interesting shows that are there. I just don't think that I don't have a problem with Lizzo's show winning this. I think that a lot of people are going to have an absolute problem with it. I don't think that it portrays. I don't think it portrays obesity in the positive light that people think it does. From the clips I've seen of the show, it shows a bunch of bigger women who dance really well for their size, but you can very much see that they have problems with their size. You can watch Lizzo move around and see that she has problems with her size. I think that they're like, I would prefer people see obese people in this light than just in like we are watching these people try to move, try to have action in life. It's way more reality than say just watching TikTok or something like that. So that's where I'm kind of with it. But to win best competition show when things like the Challenge, Survivor, somebody listed off American Ninja Warrior, Alone are all out there. Like this was not. I'm sorry, but it's not really even that much of a competition. Like because for those shows, I mean, it's the best of a particular genre of activity and skill. For this, it's not even necessarily the best dancer. It's the best fat dancer, that fits in with the group type thing. It's not, to call it a competition show is where it's a little off for me. But I had so many people, and I mean so many fucking people, like message me about her winning this. I want people to understand, right? And this is really, really, really important to me. It's important to Crystal. It's important to me. It's important to what we do. I don't dislike actual people anyway. Like it's hard for me to say I dislike actual people. I'm not very fucking pleased about a lot of people's actions or inactions, especially over the course of the last 2.5 years. But most of the time, when the person is morbidly obese, especially when they're in complete denial of what it's going to mean to them, I really I feel bad for the person, but their actions and words I find upsetting. You know, like I don't dislike Tess Holliday. I think she's like an abjectly bad person for who, like the lies she has said and how she's treated people. I personally have had interaction with people that have had personal interaction with her that was not very positive. I'm not saying that everybody that interacts with that woman has a bad, interaction. I'm saying that an inordinate amount of people that have reached out have, but again, they're the ones that would be reaching out to me. My problem is that like when you say, you let your fucked up shit like reach out into people that look up to you, that admire you for some reason, you let your fucked up shit about your fucked upness all of a sudden affect them. Like, like it's like this thing. Like it would be like me telling everybody, don't ever eat peanut M&Ms. Eat whatever fuck you want to eat. I don't eat peanut M&Ms. So you know why? Because they fuck me up. I'm fucked up with them. Crystal and I were even talking about it earlier. Like I just can't have them, like ever. Because I will eat everything in the fucking house. It will cause a binge cycle. I will eat everything in the fucking house. Is that the same for you? No, it's even in our coaching. That's why our coaching, we take like a daily approach to each individual, because each individual has different triggers, different things, different lives, right? And I don't dislike these people. I think a lot of them are fucking completely goddamn stupid. But I also want to point out, and Crystal does remind me of this whenever I do get frustrated with obese people. Crystal does point this out to me. She does remind me that one, obesity is psychologically damaging to people. Like I don't care what anybody says. Not one person is 300 pounds and happy fat. Nobody's happy to be 300 pounds. Nobody. Okay. Unless it's for an athletic endeavor, nobody is happy to be 300 pounds. I don't believe it. I've been 280 myself. I do not fucking believe anybody's happy to be 300, especially a woman. A 300-pound woman, the body frame is different and does not carry, I just don't buy it. You're not happy. You're uncomfortable physically. We live, like, I don't like the denial of reality type thing, right? But to a great degree, there's a lot of emotional stress damage and stuff like that. Plus, they're in physical pain. Plus, what they are eating causes inflammation, causes pain, and it does fuck with your brain. It does cause neuroinflammation. When you are in a chronic inflammatory state, when you are morbidly obese, it technically, for many, many, many people, causes a form of neuroinflammation that does cause lower cognitive function or lower inhibitions or lower reasoning skills. Fat drives you crazy. It just fucking does. So I don't want people to think that I got to be real, and I'm just going to say this really fucking as clear as I can. I do not give a fuck about awards from Hollywood, because I think Hollywood is full of fucking disgusting people that are on a list of people that went to an island or know people that are on that list and are covering up for them. I think us worrying about what these fucking people who they think deserve awards out of themselves, like they award themselves awards and we're like, oh, they won an award. They gave it to themselves, motherfuckers. Like, I don't understand why we give a fuck. We like these people because they pretend to be other people. That's how I view this. I don't get it. But I thought we would use this to spurn as much conversation as possible, because I really want people to understand, I don't dislike these people. I really want to help as many people as possible. I want to help as many people as possible get healthy. I think it is not only good for the person, like it is me doing my very best. If you glutton yourself to fucking 300 fucking pounds, you can't possibly tell me that what I'm saying is incorrect. You're fucking sickly. You abuse yourself. The type of caloric intake it takes to get to 300 pounds and maintain 300 pounds, the person very clearly knows they're not healthy. Like, you know it. It's not like we can pretend all we want, but that's not reality. Like getting to be 300 pounds, like you have to be eating and consuming a just tremendous amount of food. So the person themselves knows they're unhealthy. So I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to help their family, because guess what? They're going to miss you. Hopefully, like, people that love you are going to miss you when you're gone, or when you like have to, when you're upset, when you're getting your feet amputated and shit like that. And, you're going to die early, and it's bad for society, and it's bad for the planet. Like, I hate to be fucking like that dude, but I'm it's what it is. Like trying to help fat people get healthy is like I think it's a noble calling, and I don't. People can try to argue against that all they fucking want. I think that what we do helps. I know. I don't just think it. I know what Crystal and I do with our coaching and with everything like that. I know we help tons of people. We have hundreds and hundreds of emails from people that we have helped, even through not even through coaching, that just send us messages like, hey, because of you I've lost X amount of weight, or hey, because of you I've done this, or hey, thank you for making No Morbidity, it's helped me gain control of my lifestyle. I can't, like, I mean, we help people. I understand it is like the way society is set up, it is not the nicest way in the world to deliver the blow, but a huge problem is that like people need to present shit in a realistic fashion, because fucking society lies to you people. Society tells you to eat pizza all fucking day, eat your 11 fucking servings of processed carbohydrates, and if you feel sickly in any way, they'll have 4 medications for you, one to make you feel better, one for your fucking blood sugar. I mean, they'll just keep doing these things, you know? When in fact you could take control of your own life and be healthy and lead a long, happy, healthy life. It's just, it is what it is. So I thought we would just start it off with that. I'm going to say hi, and then I'm going to get to the questions, and I'm just going to try to answer as many questions. I figured we'd have a neat conversation about this today. And if you agree with me, great. If you disagree with me, that works too, and we can talk about it. Fox, what's going on? Phil, how you doing? Evening from sunny UK. I'm glad to hear it's sunny there. From what I understand, it doesn't get sunny very often. Peaceful Lifter, Final 30, Michelle. I'm late on the news, but still just sad. What late on what news? But still just sad. Oh, about her winning? The girl who, or you're talking about Life with Jen, who recently passed away. That is very sad. Janet, how are you? Slatsukin, what's going on? Let's see. Legalized Freedom, what's going on? Heidi, how are you? Desert Fox, that's me. That's where you can get our book, Fuck Being Fat. You get a month of the app also for live, pre-recorded hit style yoga training classes. Crystal went for a walk with people. We're doing strength fusion later on tonight. Or you can get our monthly coaching, which where we take people, we help them bit by bit change their life. It is coming into gluttony season. If you normally gain weight during the holiday season, we can help you. We can help you not to do that and actually get healthier. Sonia, how are you doing? Flo Zer, what's going on? Kimberly Gonzalez, whatever. We're kind of from everywhere here. The sun never sets on fitness. That's right. Cersei, how are you? Cookies. What's going on? Dakota Smith, the world needs to leave Lizzo land and go back to reality. That I agree with. But at the same time, let her make her fucking music and shit like that. My biggest problem is that she promotes gluttony. Like promotes it, objectively promotes binge eating, and then pretends like there's nothing wrong, I will say this: the whole oppressed speech was fucking ridiculous too. A famous for singing person talking about how she's oppressed by something. A lot of people need to visit other countries if they think they're oppressed in America. That's what I gotta say. Although it's getting there, we're becoming more oppressed, which is fucking crazy. Lizzo bugs me because she gives vegans a bad name. But I gotta say this: I don't believe she's vegan off camera. I don't. I really don't. So I don't think most of these people that are in the Hollywood in crowd, I don't believe they're in any way who they present on camera. I refuse to believe that, because a lot of them are just too fucking ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's just they say things to try to garner the most support they can and following they can. Crystal pointed out an interesting thing here a little earlier too, where she was talking about how notice the difference between athletes and Hollywood people, right? Athletes don't give a fuck. They will break the law. They will do whatever. They are athletes. Their skill, their marketable skill, is not that of their personality. It is how well they play their sport. So they will act a fucking fool way more often, and they give less of a shit oftentimes about their actual public perception, unless they are going to try to become an announcer or something like that. In which case, then they try to garner an audience, right? But in Hollywood, it's all like let's do the popular thing. I mean, that's why I don't even watch. I don't even. I love country music, old time country. I don't listen to modern country because they all fucking became pop stars and started doing the woke shit. Like fucking Miranda Lambert. What the fuck? We saw Miranda Lambert when Miranda Lambert was not even big yet in a small venue, and she fucking killed it. And last year she released a woke video that was so fucking ridiculous. I thought it was a fucking prank. Like Crystal walked over and showed it to me. I thought it was a fucking prank. Ridiculous. But that's the difference. Like famous people are going to say whatever the fuck they think will keep them famous. You know? Hey, what's up from Pacific Northwest? How you doing, K-Job? I just found you today and I've been binging your stuff while I work. Thanks for the videos. Nerdy Guy, 1988. You're welcome. 1988 is the year before I graduated high school. Probably when you were born. Make me feel old. Alone is filmed on the island where I grew up. It's filmed all over the place. They filmed it in multiple places. I'm waiting for them to go back to like a jungle or a desert. Notice they don't go to the jungle very often because people die in the jungle like that. Most of these people get like starved. Like it's that's one of my favorite shows to point at because like people are like, I can't lose weight no matter how little I eat. Go on that show then. You'll fucking win money. Learn how to collect water, boil water, and make a shelter and stay warm. If your only job would be to literally make sure you got water in you, make sure that you had shelter and kept warm and just collect firewood, just fucking, you get to take 10 items with you. Take a couple really, 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 really long books and fucking, whatever you need to build the shelters with, a really, really, really good shelter with. Build your shelter and just prop yourself up. If you can't lose weight, no matter how little you eat, just don't eat for like 50 to 100 days and you win $500,000. Fucking go to it. What the fuck? Politics is the best reality show. Politics has become a reality show. It really has. I mean, how are we not holding these people accountable? Like we act like people have such a short attention span nowadays. It's insanity. Like people do remember that like 2 years ago, like everything went back to normal-ish so quickly that it's ridiculous. Like the facial decoration thing. Like right now, it's like, well, people should honor and respect people's choice to wear facial decorations, wear masks. But 2 years ago, it was if you didn't wear a mask, you were trying to kill grandma. But now I mean, just to be real, wearing one is actually a public health threat. It lowers the person's immune system, and it fucking and they infect themselves at a higher rate with shit. That's why they aren't normally worn outside of a healthcare setting. And these are reality. These are facts. Like we were told something was 100% effective, and it would do 100% of its job, and now we find out it doesn't do its job and it's dangerous, and we're not going to fucking. There's no follow-up questions. We're going to move on to the next thing. That's just like maybe a few people should unplug from fucking social media so their attention span gets longer than 15 fucking seconds. Cobra, what's up? Alone, The Challenge, Survivor, American Ninja Warrior. I have not watched American Ninja Warrior in like a couple seasons. Chris and I used to watch it all the time. But the problem is, and this isn't a problem, but the problem is, it's not a problem though. When we watch it, we all of a sudden sign up for mud runs. So I can tell you what we're going to be watching tonight. Crystal just did a little happy dance over there. Alone is by far one of my favorite shows. The Challenge, I like The Challenge. I like the new Challenge series too. I wish like the old Challenge series. I know some people on the show, so that's why I don't watch it that much anymore. Because I'm not saying that they purposely try to get certain people to win the show every season, but you can fucking clearly tell by the casting that they try to get certain people to win. Let's see. I Love Alone, such a great show. It is amazing show. Just an amazing, amazing show. I'm down to 199 today. Sometimes people like Lizzo are my inspo. That's outstanding. Good fucking job. I don't know what you started at, but if you're happy with it, great fucking job. I was wondering if Hayes is a pyramid scheme since she's high on her own supply, as there's healthy people somewhere promoting this downward to her to promote it further. Well, okay. What corporation that makes food or pharma or makes healthcare supplies would not want people fat? What corporation that makes food would not want people to eat more of it? What corporation that does trucking for food, like that does transportation for food products or packaging for food products, would not want people to eat more of it? What corporation that makes pharma that take care of diabetes, heart disease, cardiovascular illness, liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, inflammation, fucking stroke, high blood pressure? What pharmaceutical company would not want people to be fat? What the healthcare industry is a for-profit industry that 50%, like when I've said this often, right? And this is actual statistics, actual facts, right? And this is what I think a lot of people don't understand. What we consider healthcare burden is somebody's revenue. Okay. According to the CDC, on their very own website, we have about $4.1 trillion in shared healthcare expenditure for the United States every single year. $4.1 trillion. Also on their website is the statistic that 80 to 90% of the $4.1 trillion is in fact chronic illness related. 80 to 90% of chronic illnesses, or 90% of all type 2 diabetes, 80% of all cardiovascular disease, 70% of all cases of strokes, and 70% of all cases of cancer are avoidable by lifestyle mitigation. So when you do the averaging out, about 80% of the chronic illnesses are avoidable by lifestyle changes, right? So if you take $4.1 trillion and you multiply it by 0.8 for the amount, the low end spectrum of what would be considered chronic illnesses, that's something like $3.4 trillion, right? And then you take 0.8 of that and it works out to 2.7 some trillion dollars. 2.7 some trillion dollars in healthcare burden for avoidable lifestyle driven chronic illnesses, which is why I'm constantly on people to try to make sure that they do their very best to, in fact, be as healthy as you can, because it is not just affecting you, it is crushing society. It is massively straining our healthcare system. If you live in the UK, even more, because while they don't have as high of an expenditure as we have, they don't have as nearly as high of resources as we have either. I mean, that needs to be considered. But for us in America, 2.7 some trillion dollars plus 1.3 million lives that could possibly be saved every single year, not to mention illness, suffering that could be done. If we actually gave a shit about people, we'd be trying to help people get as healthy as humanly possible and avoid type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, 90% of type 2 diabetes, 80% of cardiovascular disease, 70% of all cases of stroke, and 70% of all cases of cancer, not to mention other things that come along with lifestyle-driven illnesses, which is eating too much, smoking too much, and drinking too much, correct? But what people need to understand is that 2.7 some trillion dollars of healthcare burden is 2.7 some trillion dollars in revenue for the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry a year. $2.7 trillion plus in revenue a year for the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry based off of avoidable chronic lifestyle-driven illnesses. So when you say, if you wonder if Hayes' pyramid scheme, I'm going to say that there is very strong incentive for food companies who fuel this issue, for pharmaceutical companies that make profit off of this issue, for healthcare industry that profits off of this issue. I mean, there's very strong incentives for it. There's many reasons why you can clearly tell that these industries are, in fact, the reason why the Hayes industry the Hayes movement is even around. I mean, we know that being fat and being obese and drinking too much and smoking too much is, in fact, bad for you. We know these things. It's common sense. It's biological. We see it. You can't tell me when you watch a 300-pound person move that you don't realize that they're less healthy, that they don't move as well. But we just ignore it because we're told they're brave and they're awesome and it's not their fault and this and that. We're told it's not their fault, it's in the food, but there's no pressure at all for the food industry to change. There's no pressure at all for anything like that. Our government, the United States government, still subsidizes the food industry by $4 billion a year, every single fucking year, to make sugary items less expensive for people to consume, then get fatter. Like, it is very seriously a pyramid scheme in that if it was actually not profitable, if it was actually where we were looking out for the people, if we actually wanted to reduce $2.7 trillion in healthcare burden to the people of the United States and save 1.3 million lives, if it was actually about saving lives, we would trying to be helped. 90% of the people that get type 2 diabetes avoid it. 80% of the people that get cardiovascular disease avoid it. 70% from strokes and 70% of cancer. We would be trying to avoid these things. But we don't. Instead, we're told that let people eat how they want to eat. Don't be judgmental. You're some kind of phobic if you mention anything. But we know these things to be true. And then here's how you know it's all bullshit, is that we know these pressures are on the healthcare system from avoidable lifestyle-driven chronic illnesses, not just in monetary value and deaths per year, but we also know that that is a huge resource burden in our healthcare system. A huge portion of resources are used up in our healthcare system because of lifestyle-driven chronic illnesses. 90% of all diabetes, 80% of all cardiovascular disease, 70% of all cases of stroke, and 70% of all cases of cancer, at the minimum, are in fact in our healthcare system due to chronic lifestyle-driven illness, lifestyle choices. So it can be avoided, but it is not, we don't even put it forth an effort to do so because people are making money off of it. At the beginning of the pandemic, if we were so worried about the healthcare system being overloaded, why would we have not said, and by the way, the healthcare system is predominantly clogged by 90% of type 2 diabetes that could be avoided, 80% of cardiovascular disease could be avoided, 70% of cancer and 70% of strokes could all be avoided. And that is clogging our healthcare system in the vast majority right now. If we wanted to make sure we had enough space for said new novel virus to take care of everybody, instead we would, even if it would be like, hey, let's close down for a while so we can make sure that the wave doesn't get here, they would have been like, and by the way, since we're already clogging the healthcare system this much, why would we not have everybody try to get a little healthier, try to at least bring this to light? But when I say that 90% of all diabetes and 80% of all cardiovascular disease and 70% of all cancer and 70% of all strokes are avoidable by lifestyle-driven change, people look at me like I'm crazy because it's almost, they've never fucking heard it before, but it's been an established statistical fact for almost 20 fucking years now. Like, I mean, it's not spoken about because they don't really want to do anything about it because, again, the food industry, the packaging industry, the transportation industry, the oil industry, because the fuel to cart everything around, including the fat-ass people, the pharmaceutical industry, and the healthcare industry are all making trillions of fucking dollars. You hear the Hayes people talk about like, oh, the diet industry is $70 billion. Let's talk trillions here, people. Let's talk trillions of fucking dollars a year in healthcare expenditure from lifestyle-driven chronic illness. And then when you even get into the point of it right now, where we have countries around the world that are all of the sudden going to start locking people down and do climate lockdowns because we need to do something about fossil fuels, but yet the amount of overconsumption that requires people to develop this much chronic illness in America is not even being discussed as a way to possibly mitigate climate change. You're not I refuse to believe these people are serious about it. When nobody in the climate change argument will even mention for a fucking brief second, for not even a brief fucking second, how that if we were really to want to cut carbon emissions, we have about 50% obesity right now and about 80% fucking overweight right now. And the average obese person, as of statistics from 20 years ago, I believe it was, or 15 years ago, used 20% or emitted 20% more carbon due to the fact of their overconsumption, due to the fact of the transportation, production, packaging of their overconsumption of their food, not to mention what they expel, what their car needs to take extra fuel to cart their heavy ass around. But also the amount of extra waste in the packaging and the single-use items and everything like that are used from fast food, those sorts of things, is bad for the environment. We don't discuss these things. So very clearly to me, it is a pyramid scheme. They want people to be sick and ill, not to even mention the fact, and not even going into the political fact that sickly, weak, fat, lazy people who are told that they can sit on their ass, because I'm sorry, but a huge portion of this is people sitting down too much. I know it hurts to be called lazy, but a lot of people just sit too fucking much. They watch TV too much. They say they don't have any time, but yet they watch hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of TV. Like we were just talking about TV shows. If you want to watch them standing up, watch them walking. If you don't have any other time, if you just want to relax and watch shows, because I know I do. At the end of the night, we watch a few of these shows, a few of these actual shows. But I've also done a half-hour strength fusion. I've done 45 minutes of suspension system training and all sorts of other shit. But a lot of people don't move at all. They pretend they don't. They pretend that they're not active, but they pretend they don't have time. But their entire activity is they sleep, they wake up, they walk to their car, they drive to work, they sit down in a cubicle, they drive back home, they sit, they eat, and they watch TV, and then they go to bed. That's not activity. That's being sedentary. Being sedentary is laziness. You can move unless you have some sort of ambulatory injury. You can move. So of course they want you weak. These companies want you to consume. The obese people are the largest consumers of goods, services in the world. They want you to be consuming because, in fact, they make money from you, and you are easy to control. You are very easy. I'm sorry, but it was very evident who was freaking out at the beginning of 2020. Most healthy people I knew, I mean, there was still the fucking, we still knew a few of the people in the fitness industry that are complete loon bags that thought that wearing some sort of fucking piece of cloth over your face did something. And most of them, it's because they wanted to be social justice warriors and go with the crowd. But almost every fit person I knew was like, why the fuck are we doing this? Just get fucking healthy, But the people who knew that they already had type 2 diabetes or knew that they were pre-diabetic or just didn't feel well because they're fat as fuck, they bellied up really quickly. They're easily pliable because you're sickly, fat, and weak. I mean, that's just reality. People need to grasp it. So when people ask, is Haze a pyramid scheme? I don't know if it's a pyramid scheme, but I can tell you this very much. The people that make money off fat people are plentiful, and they make a lot of money off fat people, and it keeps the entirety of its society emburdened and weak. And that's my thoughts on that. I'll probably release that clip as a video here later on in the day. Let's see. Obesity is an illness. Where did we lose this messaging? I have no idea. Because people make money off of it. They don't want people to feel bad. If people feel too bad, they're going to try to cure themselves of it. If people are faced with the reality of their situation and the reality of their choices and that they are actually in charge of this shit, they will try to fix it. Because most people want to live. Most people want to have long, happy, healthy lives. They just give up on it. Not one person can tell me that Tess Holliday thinks she's going to live to 60. Like not one person like this. There's no way that woman thinks she's going to live to 60 or 70 years old. If she does, it's completely ass delusional. Completely. And I believe she would be lying to herself. Nobody can tell me she thinks she's going to lead a long, happy, or healthy life. Nobody. Like Lizzo, you watch. Lizzo's fucking rich right now. Rich right now. She's going to lose weight. You watch. Within the next couple of years, when the pendulum starts swinging one way or swinging the other way, she's going to stay popular and she's going to start losing weight. Bet me. Bet me. So, Reese's peanut butter cups cannot be kept in my house. No, I don't keep those in my house either. So, unfortunately, when I was 300 pounds, I was highly uncomfortable and not happy. It's 300 pounds. It is for reference. When I was growing up, Shaq, the basketball player Shaq, they were like, oh my God, he weighs 300 pounds. The dude's 7'2" and looks like a fucking, like, we're like different species of people. He's like thick and shit, Like, people were freaked out about it. Now we have 300-pound women. I mean, that average, like in the air, like daily, you can see them at anywhere. It's not, people need to grasp reality. Absolutely. Ann, how are you doing? I'm 180 and working to get to 140. I feel I feel so unhealthy with 40 extra pounds. I couldn't imagine 150. I mean, it's total delusion. And you're going to get there. Fucking keep going there, Anna. Brian, how the fuck you doing, motherfucker? Good to see you. Doug, how are you? The Pat fan, what's up, motherfucker? What did Lizzo get? I thought it was the Emmy. Isn't that TV? Sorry, I didn't want any other award shows. It's Emmy. Yeah, she got an Emmy for best competition show or something like that. And again, in the world where Alone exists, that's ridiculous. So, I wish Life by Jen would have turned it around. Just found out she passed away on September 10th. Keep on leading the way. Uh, and we talked about it yesterday. I'm not going to do a full standing video about it because doing a video about somebody's death it would just seem very uh, no. There's no victory laps from this. You know, I just wish people would wake up. That's all. I just wish people would wake up. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because she's a very serious example of what social media does to people. Like social media completely enabled her to eat the way she ate. Like the like nobody can tell me that the YouTube revenue and the adoration and stuff like that did not feed into her death. I believe that. It's sad. It really is. Listening while on the elliptical, get at it, motherfucker. Thanks for your message. I went from 340 down to 180. That's a fucking win right there. That's a fucking win. I eat well and work out. Wish more people would. That is a fucking win. You are a fucking hero in today's society. You are a hero in today's society. You are doing your part to be better for our society, yourself, your family, and the planet. That's a hero right there. It is absolutely a hero. I'm very proud of you. Very, very proud of you. People should try not to get as big as you got, but you realize the error of your ways and you fixed that shit. Great goddamn job. Greetings from Costa Rica. What's up, motherfucker? I have followed Life with Jen on and off for the past couple of years. Did not know she had passed away. That's really sad. Her whole life was very sad. It really was. She led an extremely sad life. I believe I did one video on her, and that was pretty much the premise of what I was saying. I do believe I even said she's not going to live very long, and I feel weird about that. It only happened one other time where about a year before Rich Piana died, I deleted the video. But about a year before Rich Piana died, I said he's probably not going to live another year. And he didn't. It's not good. I'm just going to go out of my way and say that vegans make vegans have a bad name. Here's the fucked up thing. All right. If you eat a well-balanced whole food diet and vegan, you better be really active, but you can eat very healthily. You can get the healthy fats you need. You can get a lot of fiber, and a lot of studies are showing that our daily recommended doses of fiber is way low, like very fucking low, if you're going to be consuming carbohydrates. I'm probably going to do a video about that later on this week too. I did some interesting research earlier about it. Found it to be really, really interesting. Where we used to, like, if you would ingest everything that we eat now, like rice normally has a hull on it, like wild rice has the fibrous hull, or things like that, most people would get like 50 to 100 grams of fiber in a day. And that's one of the reasons why we overeat is we don't have as much fiber in our diet. But vegans can be very healthy. The problem is it takes a pretty high caloric load to get all your micro and macronutrients and a very specified nutrition too. Hemp with rice makes a complete protein, or beans and rice make a complete protein. Hemp is a complete protein, those sorts of things. But also, you would need to have a lot of calories ingested and make sure you're getting plenty of avocado and fats and stuff like that, because they don't naturally necessarily occur. But the problem is most vegans eat processed vegan crap. They eat ultra processed food like it's fucking going out of style. Most of them are extremely unhealthy people. Lizzo's an extremely unhealthy person. I bet you her inflammation markers are just through the goddamn roof. She eats fried Oreos, for fuck's sake, I think. As a person who was born and has lived in a third world country all her life, that really resonates with me. I think Trey Parker and Matt Stone are the Hollywood exceptions, considering the many fingers they give it. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck they are. Got to be real. I don't watch. I watch some TV. We watch some TV shows, but I got to be real. I don't keep track of. I don't idolize them. Like I don't know any actors' names barely at all. Barely at all. Just because I don't give a fuck about them. I give a fuck about the character they play. I don't even want to meet them because I'm going to realize they're not the character that I love. The only person that can play different characters who I know his name and I don't give a fuck what character he is. I'd love to meet him is Nathan. What's his name? Nathan Fillion. Yeah, I didn't really know his name. Crystal knew his name, but he was in old sci-fi show Firefly. Yeah, Firefly, and then Serenity the movie, and then he's been in a bunch of other shows. I think he's hilarious and funny. So, but I also would ask him like, hey, did you know about all these pedophiles? I mean, straight up, I'd ask him like, because I mean, that's what I got to be real. And I got a lot of messages recently, like, why don't they have you on this podcast? Why don't they have you on that podcast? And I might start doing some, like we're starting to get some people talking about doing a few. I do believe that to a great degree, a lot of people would be worried about what I would say. And because this is no shit, we're on YouTube right now. I still do have to watch my P's and Q's a little bit, even though they're trying to pretend like they're giving us our freedom back. You know, but I would definitely ask most Hollywood people, like, why haven't you said anything about the amount of pedophiles in Hollywood? Why haven't you? Why was Harry Weinstein an open secret? Like, that's why, what's her name? Alyssa Milano? Alyssa Milano is self-righteous fucking wokey who absolutely was best friends with Weinstein's wife and grew up in Hollywood. You tell me she didn't know that he was systematically doing that to women? I don't believe him. I don't believe her. I don't believe any of them. You know? So that's a whole other video. Maybe that's something for just a freestanding podcast episode. Anyway, with Life by Jen passing away, the fat positive community will choose to ignore. Oh, they're going to ignore the fuck out of it. They're going to ignore the fuck out of it, or they're going to say that fat phobia killed her. And I shit you not, they'll say that fat phobia killed her. The way that these people can twist logic. I mean, you guys should watch Fatopia and then watch The Dark Side of Fat Acceptance. The way that these people can twist logic is insane. It is mental illness because being morbidly obese does cause neuroinflammation. It causes cognitive fucking issues. It really does. Not my tempo. Yeah, I like it. My parents came here from Iran, so they wouldn't be oppressed, right? Like, I find it hilarious that people say fat people are oppressed. How do you get there? How are you oppressed? Frankly, most privileged people in the fucking world to literally be able to eat enough to get morbidly obese and then have society take care of you. Like, that is not oppression. You not being able to fit into a fucking bathroom stall because you're so fucking fat and 500 pounds, you are not oppressed. You are just fat. That is obese consequences. That is not any type of fucking oppression whatsoever. At all. Whatsoever. 1988, life before caller ID. Let me tell you something. I am so unbelievably happy that most of my fucked up shit happened before the internet got fucking crazy. I mean, Crystal and I were talking about this. Crystal and I first met, like, Facebook wasn't even a fucking thing yet. And life was just a lot better. Life was just a lot easier and better. And if you guys, I mean, like, I said wild shit in person to people all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Now people just get so upset about it. I don't know. I worked in the nightclub industry, so I would kick people out and I would say fucking crazy shit. Anyway, well, 2 weeks to your birthday. Good, happy birthday soon. Blah, blah, blah. What's Lizzo doing now? She won an award for her show being pandering to people. Anyway. Alone, Vancouver Island is fire. Fuck Vancouver Island. I would do something more in a warmer climate. And this is no shit. I do pretty well in the fucking woods. And I mean, for real, like, I can have a lean-to set up pretty fucking quickly, and I can get my water, I can purify it, and I can do pretty fucking well, but fuck the cold. Fuck the cold. No. Fuck the cold. Fuck that shit. Anyway. Oh my God, that would be amazing. I want Lizzo to do a cover of Weird Al's Fat. Oh, Jesus. That is fucking brilliant. She should do it. She should do it. Growing up there makes me feel like I'd have unfair advantages. I would die in the jungles for sure. Anyway. Let's see. Anyway. Do you wear Hoochie Daddy shorts? No, I don't. No, Sarah Bear, I do not wear Hoochie Daddy shorts. It's a weird ass fucking question. Mukbangs, how original? No shit. Liz is a clown. I really believe so. Why do you think countries like Japan are smarter in that matters and less corrupt? They are not. They are not as many overweight people. I think that it's a resource thing for them. Um, where I think that there's finite land. I mean, a completely different country, and they have completely different culture. You know, we're a little bit more feral over here. Alan, you have been able to exhaustively amount of energy, motivation, and facts. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Great points raging against diet culture, but are slaves to big pharma. I mean, it's the truth. People are slaves to big pharma, absolute slaves. Let's see, Erica. Some people have always playing the messenger. I agree. My lifestyle changed. I stopped the half cigarette that I would have here and there completely now, and asked everyone, if you smoke, don't bring it around me, like you do with the peanut M&Ms. Thank you. You're very welcome. Congratulations on finally quitting smoking. It's fucking not easy. Interesting how climate change is supposedly caused by us doing too much, but the solution is always to spend more money. Like, I don't understand. Like, how about eating less? How about producing more? How about this? How about encouraging everybody to grow food on their land? Like, grow food, not lawns. I mean, every pound of food that you grow at your property produces oxygen, is good, and it also fucking is less transportation that food will need. If the sweet potatoes in my pantry need to be transported from California to here, but if I had sweet potatoes in my backyard, which one has a higher carbon footprint? You know, I have yet to, I know that people paint me as this crazy. I've been called a conspiracy theorist, all this shit, but nobody can answer my questions. They just call me crazy. Nobody can sit in open debate with my logic about these things. They just say that it's just this, it's just that, blah blah blah. Like, the best one is like, oh, well, Trump did this. Like, I don't give a fuck what Trump did. Okay, I am literally on camera openly saying that I voted for him because I would never ever ever vote for somebody who is running on a fucking platform of usurping the Constitution and mandating me wear a fucking diaper on my fucking face. I do and did like his economic policies because the economy in 2019 was fucking killing it. But again, I don't give a fuck. If Trump doesn't run, Trump doesn't fucking run. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. If Trump did something illegal, arrest that motherfucker. Put him in jail, for real. But make sure you arrest every fucking body else that did something illegal in those fucking positions. I'm down. Let's arrest them all. Let's reboot the whole motherfucking thing as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, let's reboot it all with term limits and a very clear fucking law that says that they cannot fucking trade on the stock market, and their family members cannot trade on the stock market because they have literally insider information. I mean, let's do it all. Like, I'm all for it. If they want to arrest and convict Trump, make sure you're fucking following the Constitution and having equal justice and take them all out. I don't give a fuck. But it still doesn't change the fact that people can't actually refute what I say. Anyway, I have a standing desk on order and want to get a desk treadmill. That's awesome. That is excellent. Even just the standing desk can burn a couple hundred extra calories throughout the course of the day. That's outstanding. This woman had the nerve to tell me that I make her dog bark a lot when I go walking. I'm not going to stop going back to being a lard ball. Like, so your walking is a problem, not the dog barking. Think about that. So this woman is trying to tell you that you have less rights than her dog. That's amazing. It's being sedentary. People think standing desks are helpful. It's basically the same as sitting and you aren't moving. Standing desks burn like an extra, standing to sitting burns a lot more calories. It's almost double the calories. It doesn't burn a lot, but it's almost double the calories. And for people that do a lot of sitting, if you do standing instead, it could be a couple hundred calories a day. Las Vegas has an issue with excess fat in their waste system. I watched a documentary where they processed it and dumped it in the desert. Ugh. I'm buying a walking treadmill. Good for you. I watch TV at night. That's it. Good for you. You have to make time and everything. Exactly. I have a sitting job 10 hours a day. Thinking about getting a standing desk up, my body hurts. Make sure you get a pad to stand on, but I would do it. It does burn more calories. I mean, sitting to standing. Here's my thing, okay? Uh, Even if it's only 30 calories an hour more you burn, if you do it for 5 hours, it's 150 calories. It's more calories. And we're just not meant to be sitting like this. Sitting is actually not good for you. Next, we will definitely be getting one. An unhealthy population is a weak population. A weak population is easier to dominate and manipulate. Exactly. The mandates for the NBA, NFL never made sense. None of the mandates ever made sense. None of the mandates were actually ever constitutional. There should have never been a state of emergency, to tell you the truth. Just to be real, there shouldn't, like, when you have a defined high risk group, and we knew that not everybody was at the same risk, people should be making. There should have never been a state of emergency. None. Obesity killed more people in 2020 than the vid. The vid killed like 285,000 people or something like that in 2020. Obesity killed 300 to 400,000 people. Facts. Hey, Alan, you're a great motivator. Keep working, waking people up. I'm down 40 pounds, started at 190 4 months ago. That's fucking great. Great goddamn job. Boom. Make sure it's sustainable. Make sure you're doing well. No more diabetes. We do live BTs here. I like it. Oh, I think she was the one asking about the shorts for when I grew up in the 80s and stuff like that. Oh yeah. I still wore kind of loose stuff. I wore track shorts all the time because I was on the track team. I was a championship pole vaulter in high school, and I sprinter, jumper, that sort of thing. Now I get it. Hayes activist Kelly Jean Drinkwater claims swimming 1.5 kilometers a day. If she is, she's just then ingesting a lot of other calories too. Like, it's not that she can't be active, and honestly, swimming would be the activity that people could do a lot of, because it's not load bearing. My hometown headquarters, KFC, Papa John's, Yum Brands, health and the Humana health conglomerate. I think you nailed it. Humana is running a ranch. Absolutely. I mean, hometown headquarters, KFC, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Yum Brands, and the Humana health conglomerate. I'm telling you, like, the reason why mainstream media is all of a sudden saying being fat is amazing and we should just let people be people. Like, you know how damaging that is to people? People die from obesity. People die from the chronic lifestyle-driven illnesses that obesity is a sign of development of and causes. Being obese is a chronic inflammatory state, and chronic inflammation does lead to heart disease, does lead to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. It leads to plaque buildup in your arteries. It leads to stroke. It leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It leads to insulin resistance. It leads to a massive amount of pain in your joints, arthritis, those sorts of things. Like, find me anywhere where the CDC director or Anthony Fauci in the last 2.5 years has said we should have healthier lifestyles to try to take the pressure off the healthcare system, when on the CDC website and the NIH website, it is very clearly stated that 90% of all type 2 diabetes is avoidable by lifestyle change. 80% of all cardiovascular disease, 70% of all strokes, 70% of all cases of cancer. That's on the NIH website. Okay? And the CDC is the one that lists off that 80 to 90% of all the $4.1 trillion in healthcare expenditure is chronic illness related. Like, they know this. Find me any instance where the CDC director, Fauci, or any other public health official has stated we should try to be healthier as people. Show me anywhere. I could defeat the head of the NIH and the head of the CDC on this topic in open live debate with 5 minutes notice so I could wipe the crusties out of my eyes and the notes on my fucking phone. Bet. I could destroy them. I can make them look like fools because it is unanswerable why these public health officials did not focus on the health of the public in a way to try to reduce the strain on our public health system. It is a joke. It is an incredible joke at the expense of the lives of people in the last 2.5 years and in the future. It is a joke. At best, it's a joke. We deserve better. Everybody deserves better. For real. It pains me. It upsets me. It's a joke. We have watched people in the last 2.5 years. We didn't even warn these people. We didn't even warn. This was my stake from the very beginning. And I'm running out of time, so I'm going to just get to this point, this portion, and I'm going to be done. You can literally check my content. I don't give a shit. Check everything I've ever said for the last 2.5 years and even before then. I am consistent when I've said, we did not even warn these people. We pretended 2.5 years ago that everybody was at the same risk. That does not adequately warn 350-pound people that they are at higher risk and they should do something about it. We did not try to help fat people or people that were under the age of 65 with immunocompromisations because of their lifestyle at all. In fact, we negatively affected a lot of them. A lot of people that were already overweight became morbidly obese because of what we did as a mitigation in lockdowns and closing businesses down and closing gyms down and making sure people were terrified and stayed inside. We got less healthy as a people. Our public health officials did not just drop the ball. At best, they were completely fucking incompetent in their jobs that led to mass death, illness, disease, and will project out in a shotgun effect for years to come. Because as I say all the time, the wave of illness that is coming from what we have done in this last 2.5 years is going to be biblical. That is at best. At worst, they did it for profit to sell a new pharmaceutical. That's reality. Get there faster. My worst abused food is protein bars because they give me the illusion of not being junk food. Protein bars are still just bars. Like, people need to understand. They may have a better macronutrient makeup, but they are energy bars or candy bars, however you want to look at them. Should I follow V-Shreds? Blah, 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 blah. Traveled a lot of if he Red Bull Wiseman, if he has changed his ways and is honest now, I would not know because I could not give a fuck less. If you want to follow him, go ahead. Fucking weirdo. Jonathan, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I miss that T-shirt so much. There's one that one in the Spider-Man. That's some vintage stuff right there. The Tabasco shirt. Thank you. I pulled it out. So. Traveled a lot this weekend. I remembered you said just look around the airport. I have never seen so many overweight or obese people in my life. I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse. It is only going to get worse. Only. Been starting my day with 2 eggs instead of a protein bar. It has made a huge difference. Calorie intake is significantly less throughout the course of the day. That is outstanding. Make sure to be getting plenty of hydration. You should try to take in an ounce of fluid per pound of body mass. An ounce of fluid per pound of body mass. There, I got it out. Good. Trey Parker and Matt Stone created South Park and do the voices. Speaking of fiber, do you know if the calories from undigestible probiotics like inulin powder and basil seeds are used and or stored? They're not digested, so if they're not digested, I would doubt that they are actually stored. Off topic a bit, but I remember you said Meg Squats was an idiot or something like that. Just wondering what the beef is. I haven't spoken her fucking name in like years, so she probably did something fucking idiotic. I believe it was the Kellogg's commercial for cereal she was doing. That is pretty fucking idiotic. There's no beef. I just said she's an idiot. You remembered from that's got to be 4 fucking years ago. Like, I watched some of her stuff and it seems decent. Curious what that's about. She was a fucking idiot and said Kellogg's cereal was fabulous for people. That's what it was. But that doesn't mean that she's an all the time idiot. It just means she was a fucking idiot about that. I remember you said this in a video 25 years ago when you were fucking ridiculous shit. I have a friend who grew up in a refugee camp. That is oppressed. That's right. No shit. Mark Young, what's going on? Hey, stranger, long time no see. I'm very tired. I've tried a very strict keto, but I plateaued at losing 20 pounds and can't get any farther. Tried carb cycling. I'm a very strict and non-restricted processed food. Blah blah blah. As an act, so not as an active paramedic, but I'm sitting on my ass looking good, brother. Here you go, hey man. And we do still have coaching. So Mark, if you want to come along, I can help you out, buddy. Good to see you. Let's see. Because our cities of the West don't budget for snow control. Anyway, I saw an article about the USDA wanting people to register their home gardens. Why? So my food can become your food? No, thank you. Why the fuck does the government think that you should? You know what you should have to register for the government? Nothing. Nothing. What the fuck business? They work for us, not us for them. People have forgotten that. You don't like people are like, well, what about firearms? Nope, shall not be infringed. Don't even give a fuck. People are like, what about felons? If they are safe enough to be in population, they should have their rights. I'm a strict constitutionalist. Some people, though, here's my thing about that. We should have much more severe, a lot of times, in many more cases, permanent punishments for crimes, like for things involving children or forcible sexual activities. The death penalty works really good for me. As far as I'm concerned, fire up the fucking wood chipper. But besides that, the government works for us, and that's how it should be. They shouldn't have a registration of anything. I like Meg a lot. I haven't watched her in years. That was just somebody trying to fucking dig something. If you dig way back into my shit, you'll find all sorts of crazy shit, motherfuckers. I can tell you this, 2020 changed everything now. 2020 changed how I feel about almost all those fucking people. Here's the thing. I don't know what Meg Squats did, but if Meg Squats stood up for not wearing a facial diaper and not closing down and shit like that, she's fucking awesome in my book. Awesome. Awesome. If you're one of these people out there and you're in the fitness industry and you kept quiet because you didn't want to fucking rock the boat, I don't got much respect for you left. There. That's how that shit works. I don't know why that's such a fucking big thing to understand. People evolve and change, you know? I don't watch her stuff. I wish Meg nothing but the best. I hope she got over the idiotic Kellogg's thing because that was really fucking stupid and idiotic. So. And we're a little over an hour, so I'm going to scroll down here, see if I got any last couple questions. And then we're going to go from there. If you ran for president in 2024, you'll have my vote. There's no fucking way I'm ever getting elected to any public office. I have literally probably said fuck online 3 billion times by now. So there's absolutely no way I'm ever getting elected to any public office whatsoever. But I would, and this is no shit, I would absolutely, once again, debate any public health official on how they handled shit at the very fucking beginning and destroy them. But I hope everybody has a great day. Tomorrow, by the way, I am going at 7 a.m. in the morning. I am going to switch that up it's going to be vacillating on some Thursdays between 7 a.m. and 5:30. Last week was 5:30. This week is going to be 7 a.m. I got shit to do. But also, I realized that there's going to be some weeks where I probably travel, and Thursday is part of Thursday evening is a travel portion. So tomorrow is 7 a.m., and I'll have the topic up for you motherfuckers shortly. I hope everybody has a great goddamn day. Goddamn.